our scripture.
Hey guys, hope everybody's doing okay. It's been a fun couple of weeks with you. Hope we have another great Congress. So let's pray. Jesus Christ, we thank you for this day. We thank you for everybody in this room. God, you have called them to a special kind of service, and that is leading for the students, Lord. And God, we just ask for you to be with all of our congressional members here and be with the students that are watching. Guide them and nurture them and love on them. In your name we pray. Amen. All right, let's have a good meeting.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead and move into the Pledge of Allegiance.
All right, tonight's pledge is going to be led by Chairman Mark Jones. He is a sophomore biology pre-professional major from Roanoke Rapids, and this is his first year in SU.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Motion to add appointments to the agenda.
Everyone, the motion on the floor is to add appointments to the agenda. Is there a second? Thank you, Mr. President. All those opposed, please raise your hand. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Appointments has been added.
Motion to appoint Julie Shio as a freshman class representative.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those opposed, please raise your hand. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Thank you, ma'am. Is there a motion to move into swearing in?
Motion to move swearing in.
Second.
All those opposed, please raise your hand. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All right, you go ahead, please stand.
If you could raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Julie Shio,
Having been chosen by my fellow students to hold this office,
having been chosen by my fellow students to hold this office,
do hereby affirm my intention to work
and hereby affirm my intention to work
for the best interest of the students at Campbell University.
for the best interest for the students at Campbell University.
I promise to conform to the rules,
I promise to conform to the rules,
regulations, and policies of the university,
regulations, and policies of the university,
to protect and adhere to the SGA Constitution,
to protect and adhere to the college decision,
and to commit my time, effort, and talents
and to commit my time, effort, and talents
to provide for improvement and adjustment wherever needed.
to provide for improvement and adjustment wherever needed.
Congratulations.
Please formally move to the roll call.
Executive Council is just missing Ms. Sarah Bolton-House. Senior class?
5 of 7, missing Audrey Zott and Emily Pavlock.
Okay, junior class?
8 of 9, missing Sebastian Hutton.
Okay, sophomore class?
8 of 9, missing Megan Naper.
Freshman class?
7 out of 9, missing Ethan Stewart and Ashland Cox.
All right, we will now move into student forum. Are there any students wishing to speak at this time? Come on down, man.
Good evening, everybody. I just wanted to say thank y'all for putting together a think tank for the LGBT community, and I'm hoping to help y'all as much as I possibly can as President Con Brown. Also, I'd just like to congratulate y'all. I didn't see a single thing in the Campbell Times about y'all, which is lovely to see. So, just wanted to say, good job.
Are there any other students wishing to speak at this time? Come on now, sir.
Good evening. I come today as a representative of the Kappa Sigma fraternity and Olive Creek Life here at Campbell. I just want to say that I'm really in support of the Greek life amendment and having somebody here in SGA to hear the Greek life concerns and kind of voice those to the SGA floor. I look around and I see a lot of people that are in Greek life currently, and I believe that they too can help us as the Greeks get things accomplished to help better Campbell. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. At this time, move into executive council reports.
We have one more.
One more student.
Wanted to address this body in case could be addressed later on when they come up. But in regards to the Greek amendments, each student at Campbell University is guaranteed equality with all of the students at Campbell University. And in the Executive Council, we currently have four positions, Executive President through Executive Secretary, which represent and are elected by 100% of the students. And we have the three coordinators currently, the men's, women's, and community. They're represented and elected by about a third of the students. So theoretically, the Executive Council, if they're all representing about the same amount, they all equal out each other and represent 100% of the students. But where does the equality with all of the students at Campbell University come in? Well, if you overestimate the Greek population, there's maybe about 6 or 7% of the total Campbell students in Greek. But is 6% necessarily needing an individual position for that? I look at the Executive Council officers for next year. 86% of those elected already are Greek. Those elected yesterday, class officers, 78% are Greek. Us in this room, 40 or 50% of us are Greek. Is limiting and giving extra voice to Greek students on the Executive Council really necessary? And if it is necessary, I ask, why have we not created a position for International Student Coordinator? Why have we not created a position for Part-Time Student Coordinator? Why have we not created a position for Veteran or ROTC Coordinator? Each of those also have separate needs and are definitely not as represented in this body as Greek is.
I agree with your points, but why wasn't this brought up when the amendments were passed before?
I motioned for a round of debate at that meeting and it did not pass, so I didn't have the opportunity.
Have you looked into other schools' Greek life percentages in their student governments?
I have not, but I looked the other day in Duke's student government. They have over 60 people in their student government. There's not one position dedicated to solely Greeks. Meanwhile, they have over 12 organizations.
Would you not agree that, although that is true, would you not agree that most of the people in Greek life at other universities are also involved in SGA because they are strong student leaders and the two kind of remain?
I mean, yeah, it's represented by like 40 to 50% right now, like Greek, but I don't think we necessarily need to limit the voice of the students that are not Greek in order to create a special position for Greek students.
You spoke briefly about the three coordinator positions representing the entire student body as a whole. However, you do realize that as class officers and class representatives, we are serving our constituents rather than the coordinators serving them as a whole. We have this entire group of people in here to serve individual students. It's not just three people serving an entire student body. So I'm asking, why do you believe that adding a spot for a Greek life coordinator, which would basically be a community coordinator for Greek students, why would that add any benefit towards them and make them any better than anybody else?
Because proportional to the amount of students actually in Greek. It's disproportional giving them a vote on the executive council in relation to those students who are not in Greek. Same case how House of Representatives, those of us registered in this second district are about as equal number as those a few minutes up the road in the 13th or 4th or any of those congressional districts.
Would the speaker not agree that Greek life is more than just a student organization, but more of a culture?
I suppose so, but if you review the Campbell University Greek policies that I emailed out everyone last night, Campbell essentially says that the organizations that we're redefining these positions for are not under our jurisdiction, or say can't even have housing, so I don't see necessarily a
Quick follow-up. Would you not say that the purpose of the coordinators is to represent cultures, like the men's community coordinators to represent men living on campus, that culture that they're supposed to bring? Because if it was just to be representative of students, then the purposes of the class organizations would be obsolete, versus like the women issues living on campus and commuters. So those are all cultures. So the purpose of Greek life is not to give special attention, but it's so that way people who are representing their senior class or something like that, they don't feel obligated to bring the Greek life positions to a situation because they already have a voice and to identify and deal with any cultural issues that might be brought with Greek life. Not for the purpose of spending money, but in the purpose of making a cohesive communication with SGA.
If that's the argument for Greek position, then why do we not have international student coordinator, which international students have a much different culture than we do, or a part-time coordinator, because they can't even be eligible for housing or things like that, or an ROTC veteran coordinator who, I'm not a veteran, but I'm sure being overseas and serving in the military is a much different culture than what Campbell is.
Is the speaker aware that the only reason these amendments are being brought back to Congress was the Student Life Committee approved them as is and wanted 2 clarification amendments added? They've already approved the amendments conditional to 2 extra pieces of information being added to the amendments, so they're okay with the amendments.
Guess that's great that they're okay, but I'm concerned more about the rights of the students.
Follow it. Is the speaker aware this has the support of the Greek Life GA as well as the Greek Task Force, which includes Dr. Bazemore, Dr. Latino, Chris O'Connor, and Dean Hale?
I am now, but if the whole purpose is to create a position between the Intergreek Council being organized, and that can be done next year, I don't see a purpose when this position can't even be filled until next year.
All right. So, my understanding of the men and women's coordinator is that they're supposed to coordinate the men's and women's people living on campus. All right. So then we have a commuter student coordinator who's supposed to coordinate people who commute from apartments or do our off campus. Now, the grand plan for Greek life, if I'm not mistaken, the 5-year plan, is to have fraternity housing and sorority housing. So that would make them off campus, but on campus. That's a little gray area. Now, we already have a men's and women's coordinator for on campus, we have a commuter for off campus. So what I think they're really trying to do here is the Greek life would be that gray area for the Greek people, for the Greek communicator, Greek life, whatever. Communicator. The deal is, organizing. It's that gray area. They don't live on, they live technically on campus, but they're not in a dorm, they're in Greek housing. So really what I see this as is it's filling in a space that needs to be filled. We already have filled with other places. We already have a commuter coordinator and a dorm coordinator, basically. That's what the men's and women's are there, for the people living in the dorms. That's why I didn't get to vote for them, because I'm a commuter. Just like they didn't get to vote for the commuter people. Anyway, so I'm sorry, it's been a long day, but that's what I'm saying. It doesn't make any sense to me. We've got a gray area here. We're trying to fill it in with positions that have already been established in the respected areas. I don't think they're trying to infringe on anybody or make anybody any special than anybody else, but it's specifically attending for that 5-year term. It's probably, it's solving the problem before the problem arises. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Point of information, there is no current Greek housing on campus as of yet.
But.
Point of information, there are architectural designs for a Greek village already drawn up.
One thing, members of Congress, please remember that queries are questions, not statements.
Yeah. That was a question.
I would say that if housing is in the 5-year plan and housing can't be built overnight, then future SGA should address this problem when there is housing and actually ground broken and everything is definitely in the works, in ground, foundation set, everything.
Right. Follow up.
Follow up, and then we're going to limit it to one question, no follow-ups for the remainder of the student forum.
So let's say you drive a car, okay? You drive a little crazy. This is going to be a question, all right? And one day you get in a wreck. Now you're not going to get in a wreck tomorrow. You're not going to, God willing, I hope you don't get in a wreck tomorrow. It might be bad. But here's hoping you don't get in a wreck tomorrow, but you don't get in a wreck next week. It might be 5 years down the road, per se, you get in a wreck. But you still pay for insurance just in case you get in a wreck. All right, none of us speak for Campbell. We speak for the students. We like to think we speak for Campbell, but we don't. For all we know, they might get some money and say, here's $2 million, go build Greek housing. And it might come up, and maybe not tomorrow, but within the year. That's probably not going to happen. That's like the wreck scenario. You know, you're not going to walk outside and get hit by a comet, but there's still always a possibility. God forbid. I hate for you to get killed. All right, and that's my question. Don't you think that you have car insurance for a reason? I think this is basically car insurance. We know it's coming. We know it's going to happen. It's inevitable. We're just being prepared. Don't you think that it's wise and prudent to be prepared?
Yes, but if it creates a position for 6% of students, meanwhile encroaching on the rights of the other 94% of students, then I would say cross that bridge when that bridge is right in front of you, not still housing needs to be built and everything.
Go ahead, Mr. Johnson.
Would the speaker agree that it is not the job of the student government to anticipate problems for the student body that might be 5 years out?
I would agree with that.
You've already asked one question, no more questions. Anyone else that has not asked a question, ask a question.
Student forum, so this can be discussed when the amendment actually comes up.
There's a motion to end student forum. Is there a second? All opposed, please raise your hand. All in favor, please raise your hand. Student forum is now closed. Thank you, Mr. Hudson. We will now move into the Executive Council reports. President Meeks.
Good evening. First and foremost, welcome to our student speakers. Thank you for speaking and coming down here and voicing your opinion. We greatly value your participation. It's something we saw all year. Second off, congratulations to the members of Congress who won their elections. Congratulations to the new members of Congress who were disappointed, and the new members of Congress who were just elected. Congratulations to Ms. Laird again for running a great election. She is an extremely hard worker, and what major are you? Pharmaceutical science. Pharmaceutical science. So all that while having to study. It's incredible. So I have a couple of announcements. First, I did sign the Allen Brown Challenge resolution, the graduation change resolution, actually immediately following Congress, and the freshman t-shirt design resolution from last meeting. Announcement about the Campus Leadership Forum or Summit. We've started to write things down, so during the meeting, if you have something that you need to jot down, you have all the sort of information about it. So the Campus Leadership Summit is next Thursday, a week from today, from 1 to 3. All members of SGA are invited to attend and encouraged to attend. But if you could RSVP, I sent out a link. I'll send out another one. It's just a Google little survey thing. You just click it's like 4 questions. What year are you? What are you in SGA? All this stuff. So if you do want to come to that, there'll be light refreshments provided. It's next Thursday from 1 to 3 in the trustee room. And the trustee room is really cool. You actually will probably get to look and see all the plans that have been drawn by the architect. Unless they hide it from us. I hope they don't. And that caps my announcements. I want to reiterate the preamble to the Constitution. It's so great. We're the primary voice of the students, et cetera, and also the authorities of Campbell University having confidence in the students to engage in the process of self-determination in government, to hereby enter into this agreement with the Constitution. So they enter into this agreement. This is an agreement with the university. So read it with that in mind. This is what the university has agreed to allow us to do. And read it with that, not that it's supposed to inhibit you, but it's supposed to empower you. So that's what I hope you do. That's what I hope next year does, is read this with the mentality that this is a powerful document. The university is giving us power to do things, and we should do it. So that is it. Do I have any queries? Yes.
Where is the trustee room located?
Oh, that is an excellent question. The big stairs in front of Taylor Hall, it is down right below those stairs. This is kind of an awkward place for trustees. But if you go in to Taylor Hall and go downstairs, you can get there. Just keep in mind to circle back around towards the front. Or, you know, those big bushes to the right of it when you head towards Marsh Banks. If you snake around and go down underneath the stairs, it's creepy, but there's a door there. If you knock on that door, I'll hopefully be in there early. So if the door's locked or anything, just knock on it and I'll let you know. Any more questions? Yes, more than likely. I'm hopefully going to have some name tags, hopefully going to have some handouts, some printouts, some copies of the Constitution, a PowerPoint, all sorts of stuff to help network with these leaders around campus. As of right now, we have about 15 responses, which is not what I had hoped we would have. I'm hoping that it's sort of late into the RCP game for this event, so hopefully we'll get some more. But any more questions? All right, thank you all so much.
At this point, we will revert back to approval of the minutes because I skipped that. So,
Motion to approve the minutes from last meeting?
all those opposed, please raise your hand. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Minutes are approved. And now it's my turn. Alrighty, so the executive council has been planning some big things. We've worked together excellently. I'm very proud of everyone. They've been doing an awesome job. A little ice cream cone that Peter drew up there, if you could direct your attention to that. We're going to have a fundraiser called Backpack Buddies. Mr. Elba brought this to us at our last meeting, and we expanded upon this and have come up with an event. What this event will entail is we're going to have a banner, and we're going to allow sponsors to donate to the fundraiser, and their name will be on the banner. We'll have that banner located at the event we're going to have, which will be located in the academic circle. We're going to get music going out there, as well as Sunny Skies ice cream. And we're going to have people coming and donating school supplies, canned foods, clothing for children in Harnett County. And we're going to have people packing those supplies into food line bags, which we'll tie together and we'll go drop off at the fundraising location. Now, this fundraiser is supposed to help the 100 plus children that are considered homeless.
Well, families. There's multiple children in those
children. So these kids don't have, school supplies, food when they're not at school. So this is a wonderful thing for us to do. And I'm always hesitant about just giving SGA money, which is student money, to a fund, like a foundation. But we found an excellent way to tie it in so it's an event that students can partake of that'll just, really help them get ready for exams. It'll be a fun feeling to help out. It's going to be happening on April 21st. That Thursday is reading day, and that Friday is the first day of exams. But one thing that we're trying to do is get extra credit, as well as Brian's working on trying to get CD credit for participating in this event. So if everyone, look at number one, if you have any sponsors, any family businesses, local businesses that you work for, if you think they would be interested in sponsoring this event, please get up with us afterwards in person or by email and let me know. So I can go ahead and contact them or get you to contact them about fundraising. Also, try and spread the word to as many people as you can about this event because we're going to want a lot of people participating in it. It'll be really fun. Second, if if you wouldn't mind talking to your professors and seeing if they'd be willing to give extra credit for participating in the event, either packing the bags or bringing supplies, we'll go ahead and have little cards there that we'll sign that you can give to your teacher. So if you want to talk to a teacher about that, that'd be a big help. And then go ahead and contact me and let me know what the opinion of that was. And fourth, donations. If you can spread the word in your classes, and everyone should participate in it as well. If you have any school supplies, canned foods in your dorms that you haven't eaten or aren't going to eat, bring those and we can donate that to this awesome cause. We're going to have Congress next Thursday. I'm calling a meeting, so if you have any business, this will be the first time we'll have the general fund. Yeah. And we're going to be working on passing a resolution to obtain funding for this event. We want to have all the sponsors nailed down and the costs itemized in the resolution. That's why we're not doing it tonight, so we can bring it to you guys. You guys have full transparency and see everything that's going on. So expect that next week. The rough estimate of what's going to cost is $1,600. So that's $1,200 or so for Sunny Skies Ice Cream to come out here, set up, and serve 350 ice cream cones. So if anyone can do any of the things we're talking about, please do it and email me so I can go ahead and coordinate with the rest of the executive council and get this done. Secondly, Congress tonight. We have a lot of stuff, which is awesome, but it's going to take a while. So some things I'm going to do tonight to make things run a little bit more efficiently is if you're asking repeat questions, I'm going to make it where you can only ask one question for the remainder of that. You will have a follow-up though, so just remember that. And also, if you notice people are asking a lot of questions, more than likely that indicates that there's some disagreement with the piece of legislation. So you can go ahead and motion for a round of debate, which will be more efficient because we'll have 5 or less minutes to, for, and against, instead of spending 20 or 30 minutes just asking random questions. It's more of a structured environment where people can voice their concerns and answer any questions. So don't be afraid to do that. Is there any queries for me? Yes, sir.
The location.
The location. I still need to work with campus administration and physical plant. But what we're shooting for is outside of the academic circle, kind of where the Christmas tree was. And we're going to have music playing in Sunny Skies, ideally, right in front of D-Rich. And the music won't cost anything. We're going to try and get the speaker from the physical plant. So if you have an awesome Pandora playlist, you just plug it into there. You're good to go. Any further queries? Yes, ma'am.
I guess it's celebrity, but flyers, make flyers
Yeah,
and stuff.
we're definitely going to be utilizing y'all to promote it on social media, things like that. But also, just word of mouth is an excellent tool. So make sure you tell people right now, hey, on April 21st, this is what's going to happen.
Will the meeting for next week be here at 7?
It will be here or Kivett afterward. But I'll let you know next week, but it will be at 7 o'clock. Does anyone have any problems with the meeting next Thursday? Am I missing an event that's going to happen?
Grey's Anatomy.
Would you suggest that we put this in advertisement with Campbell Appreciation Week, since that'll be that week?
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. That Campbell Appreciation is that week. We were ideally trying to do it on Wednesday, the day before reading day. We figured people would be happy coming out, and being philanthropic always makes me feel better. So that's a nice feeling before exams. But there were some problems with a lot of things going on that week, so we decided to do it Monday. So it'll be in part of Campbell Appreciation Week. And I forgot to say it's from 5 to 8 p.m. So it'll be nice and cool. And I'll have a tentative plan for doing it somewhere else if it's raining. So maybe the Convocation Center or Carter Gym. I'll work on that. Any other queries? All right, seeing none. Thank you guys. We'll now move into reports.
Hi guys. I'm really sorry for not seeing all the minutes. Don't hate me. I'm really sorry. I wasn't here last week, and I literally just sat down. I just drove to Greenville today to see my grandpa, and I sat down and I was like typing the agenda, and I was like, crap, I did not send out the minutes. Totally forgot about that. Wasn't here. I'm really sorry. I sent you leaves right before this, so sorry. No one else sent me theirs, I don't think so. Also, I want to talk about the health services that I've been working on. I've sent Dr. Bazemore 2 emails this week, and he still hasn't responded to me, so I'm trying. I'm sorry. I can't make him respond to me. Maybe I'll show up at his office tomorrow and knock on the door and say, please talk to me. Also, the Leadership Summit, please respond to. Peter's planned a really great event. I've had several students message me and say, Sue-Ann, are you going to this? And I said, yes, I'm going. Please come. And it looks really bad if we're not excited about our own event. And the fact that we don't have that many SGA members signed up makes me really sad. So please sign up for Peter's event. He sent you an email link. The survey really is like 3 questions. I did it on my phone in 5 seconds. So please support Peter and come out. And this really is our opportunity to talk with the best and the brightest leaders on campus. So I'm breaking things. So please respond. Yes.
Mrs. gonna have a question at the end, but I want to make a statement. Another purpose of this meeting is to sort of slingshot next year with a lot of great ideas, and I'm so happy that Sue Ann's on board with it. So would you agree that is a great reason to have
Yes. If you wanted yesterday's election, or even if you didn't, I would really like to see, especially if you want to be out there, because that's how we're going to move forward and learn what things we can do for next year. So please, please, please sign up. Also, congratulations to everybody that won yesterday. I look forward to working with you. Again, thank you to Stephanie. She does an awesome job. I don't know how she does it. I would lose my temper. So snaps for Stephanie. Sorry, the sorority thing. Any other queries? Yes.
What will be dressed up for the summit?
Let's do just business casual, nothing fancy.
So you don't have to dress up. You don't even have to dress up to go to class. You can just wear what you wear to class, I would say. But no pajamas,
Yeah, super casual.
no slippers. I wear my slippers today to class. Any other queries? And thank you to the students that came and spoke also.
Mr. Johnson?
Hello, Congress. The commuting student coordinator has been coordinating with the commuting students. And we have a bill before the House tonight. Resolution 17-14 is the results of the commuting student forum. This is a recommendation that I'm going to take to the administration, voicing our concerns, what we'd like to see in an eventual student center of excellence. Also before the House, I am sponsoring resolution XX14, which is about the garden boxes. That's our partnership with Campus Ministries. I'll be talking about that more when it comes before the House for Earth Day and Operation In This Much. And then resolution 22-14 is the recycling initiative that the Environment Committee has been working on and will take to the administration. Orange Wednesdays are still going well. We did a lot of things with elections yesterday, and all that stuff got taken up. So things are going well with Orange Wednesdays too. Any queries?
Thank you, sir. We'll now move into Congressional Committee reports. Mr. Hudson. Mr. Hall.
Emily couldn't make her tonight because of previous commitments, but she did want me to let you guys know that we're planning a luau and everything, and the tentative date is April 14th on a Monday around 6 p.m. We're probably going to propose to get that through finance so that way we can work out the timeline with catering, because the next meeting's April 10th, and for us to be able to get it done with catering, it will work out time-wise. And then we're also getting some like tiki torches, and then leis from Oriental Trading is the goal. And then also what we're planning on doing is ordering the signs. They might not be able to get in by this semester, but that way it'll be full-fledged and we'll have official signs by next fall. And then also a big thing, flags, the big flags. But and then also that we're already planning on street fair for next year, because as you guys know, SGA doesn't actually have money during street fair, and no one ever actually wants to see us at street fair. So instead of us just advertising to just freshmen to run, we thought it'd be a great idea to have a survey just saying what their interests are, and you put your class, and then we can send the results of that to the different class officers, so that way they know how to be active. So we're going to create like a little gift basket, because every other club has like a gift basket out there or something free for them to get if they sign up and participate. So we're going to do that, and then business cards. So we're doing that with the remaining of advancements budget, because we thought that was a proactive way to advance SGA. Yield the queries.
What did you say the date was for the luau?
April 14th at 6 p.m. 7 p.m. sorry, 7. In Taylor Park. And it'll be a cornhole tournament and also volleyball. Sorry. It's all coming back.
Is people aware that there's Congress next week now, so you can bring that to Congress in the morning?
Tell Emily that I am now aware. In process. Any other? That's nothing. All right.
Now we move to elections.
Just wanted to say congratulations to all of you guys that won yesterday. And anyone who helped, we'll get an office hour. I'll send those. And if you're on elections committee, see me after. There was an appeal, so we're going to have to schedule a meeting for that. So we'll talk about that after this. Thanks.
Mr. Chad,
Yes.
And what is the date of the referendum?
I'm glad you brought that up. We'll be doing referendums during class representative elections now because the turnout for yesterday's election wasn't as high as expected. So the highest class, which was the senior class, only had about 100 people vote, and that's nowhere near what we're going to need to pass or fail it. So if students don't come out to that, which is an actual election, I don't know how effective it would be for them to come out and vote for amendments. Any other queries?
Mr. Allen?
Does the speaker think it may be a good idea if it doesn't pass the Junior Representatives that we could also have that out there when we do the Campbell appreciation stuff because we'll have people be sitting out there?
I would. Any others?
Thank you. Now moving to finance.
First, Representative Shadna met with Dr. Basemore last Friday afternoon to discuss charging each student a flat fee to fund SGA instead of just the arbitrary number that there is now. He was not for that idea at all, but he did suggest passing the budget a semester early or even having a yearly budget that wouldn't have to be passed every semester. So I'd love to hear your opinions about that, especially if you're very passionate either way. This week, Finance Committee passed 2 internal resolutions. One was for the senior class survey for $50. That was a unanimous vote. And the other was for the Student Affairs Advancement Survey for $75 for each gift basket. That was a 3-to-1 vote. Any questions?
Thank you, ma'am. Rules, Ms. Brown?
No report.
Student Affairs, Mr. Jones?
Alright, we currently have 109 responses on our survey, so we're getting on up there. If you could reshare the link to the survey so we can republicize that, because I'm sure it's at the bottom of everybody's news feed. Send out emails if you'd like, but we definitely encourage more responses. We are canvassing on the 3rd, 4th, and 9th of April. So we hope to have a Google Docs soon that you all can sign up and help us canvass. The goal is to canvass during breakfast, lunch, and dinner times at Marsh, Shouse, and Oasis because they're on high volume of traffic there. So we feel like we'll be able to get more responses than we would if we went to a dorm and sat there for a couple hours, so we get more, we can get better use of our time. Also, I guess this would fall under us, Relay for Life, we now have a team together for that, so join if you can. The instructions are in the email that I sent. I thought it was a $10 registration fee, but that may be optional, so you may just be able to join without it. It is $10.
You can choose to, you have to pay it eventually, but you can choose to wait until later.
I got you. Okay. So then, yes, it is a $10 registration fee. And like it said in the email, you may or may not get a t-shirt with that. It just depends on how many are left because we did get in after the deadline, which was February 28th or something like that. So feel free to join that. Also, we will have a table out at the Relay for Life from 3 to 10. So we'll need people to help be there because this year's big theme is holidays. So our table is actually National Pancake Day. So that's a resolution coming up later where we are going to do sell unlimited pancakes and bottled water to raise money. I think that's about it. Any questions?
Ms. McGowan?
I remember you saying something about the Easter meals a couple congressional meetings ago. If you would like to update us on that.
To be quite honest with you, there has not been any follow-up on that. After coming to executive council, I haven't really been in contact with Megan. But I'll be more than happy to speak with her and see where she is on that. The problem that we were encountering was that the Beacon wanted to kind of do it as a fundraiser and sell the meals almost at a low cost. So we weren't really for that, not to mention lack of research was done at the beginning. So the Beacon isn't the best target for what we were trying to do. So we were trying to look for other areas. So it's kind of falling a little short, but I'm definitely following on it.
So if we're currently signed up for another team, is it okay if we still come out and help you?
I don't know the rules about that, but I don't foresee it being a problem.
Point of information, you can sign up for multiple teams and help with multiple teams.
Do I have to pay the $10 each time though?
You don't have to pay to help, but you can.
You're mentioning the food. You've also got the Raleigh Rescue Mission right up the road, and they do meals every day. There's a place in Fayetteville for Salvation Army. And they do dinner and lunch, I think. And they're always looking for food, looking for modified food and stuff like that. So you can watch it with either one of those two places and the facilities up for Easter.
Okay, and that may be a good outlet. Also, do we have a spot for dining committee? Do y'all speak? Do y'all speak now? Okay, well, Larry is no longer head of Airmark. He is leaving. So there will be a new head of Airmark. So in order to get this brought back up, we'd have to go and speak with him because I'm assuming that he's not going to relay this information and the new head of Airmark may not be as generous or whatever else. So it will have to be revisited.
Do you know when that new head is going to be?
I'm going to refer you to... Point of interest. The new head of Airmark's name is Steve. I work for Airmark, so he came in yesterday. So he's currently there.
And speaking back on Atlas's point, Larry was talking about how every Easter they order hams, give them out to the staff. There's always leftover hams due to over-ordering or staff not picking them up, so I'm sure that if anything, we could at least get the extra hams and donate them to the rescue mission. So at the very least, that would be something that we could do.
Sorry. As far as ordering the hams, is there a price that we could contribute to that and actually purchase them on our own with some of the money that we're given? Because that might be a little bit easier to pass through Airmark, say, let us just use your word for it.
I mean, that'd definitely be an option to explore, but if there's 10 leftover hams, then there's no need for us to buy them because he said there's usually a good amount left over.
You might want to check with if you were going to someplace like the Raleigh Rescue Mission or the Salvation Army distribution area in Fayetteville. You could probably talk to some people that actually serve at a given point. If you're actually doing things they're doing like an Easter meal, you can probably talk to Airmark or some of the local restaurants to be able to order through their stuff and actually get more than just ham and actually sponsor a full meal with sides. If that was, if y'all okay with giving up money. So that's something else that you're passionate about that you might be able to look into doing. You can ask them how many people are an average Easter they serve, because generally on holidays, so many people are doing during the week on a normal day. So.
Any further queries? Members of Congress, before we move on, I'd just like to remind you that your input in this meeting is very valuable, and I've been seeing a lot of phone checking. At the beginning of this year, you all voted not to use your phones during Congress, so if we continue doing that, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. And we'll now move into class reports. Mr. Hudson.
Okay, senior class has got 2 resolutions coming up tonight. One of those is for the senior class gift. We've already spoke to Dr. Bays more about that, and he's in the process of talking to Jim Roberts about purchasing the signs. We had a resolution go through Finance Committee for a survey that we're doing for the naming of the student sections. Whatever the top one we get, we'll select one. The winner of the contest will get the gift card for $50, pending the approval of Dr. Bazemore for the name. That way it's not some absurd or non-Campbell appropriate name. I think he recommended the Hump Zone.
Yep.
So, but any questions about the senior classes resolutions or anything going on with senior class?
It's a point of information. I was able to get with Emily Tadlock before this meeting, and there's already 168 seniors who responded to the survey, and 20% have selected the Oasis, 59% the Hump, and 22% the Desert. So right now, basically 100 students are leaning towards the Hump.
Okay, considering there's probably less than 500 people in the senior class, that's pretty good. I'll take that any day of the week. Any other queries or points of clarification, anything like that? So no, I'm good right now.
Junior class? Sophomore class? Freshman class?
Hey guys, we have a resolution coming up. It's our budget. It's basically the biggest resolution we have. It's going to have all the money sorted out for the block party, and also we're taking volunteers from SGA. So if you can go deal with Amy, anyone in our class, say that you want to volunteer and help out, you get a T-shirt, because we need to know the student, so we order in the right amount of T-shirts and stuff. And then, so yeah, that's basically it. You'll see the resolution, all the money stuff later. So, yeah.
What was the name of that?
The block party is on reading day.
Motion to suspend house rules.
All those opposed, please raise your hand. All those in favor, please raise your hand. The motion is to suspend the House rules, probably for the purpose of us going into committee of the whole. All those opposed, please raise your hand. All those in favor, please raise your hand.
Motion to move into committee of the whole.
Second.
All those opposed, please raise your hand. All those in favor, please raise your hand. We're not moving to committee of the whole. Mr. Jones.
Okay guys, so this is the first resolution that I co-sponsored. This is the garden box resolution. We are planning to purchase 4 garden boxes. They cost $40 each, and they'll require a load of fertilizer and soil, which is $25 each. Multiply that by 4, that's $260 for 4 SGA garden boxes that can go into our university gardens. It is a great point of interest for students that are concerned for the environment at a relatively low cost, and can be a great legacy for the student government of Campbell. Are there any queries?
More of a point of information. I worked with the community garden when I was in an OrCom class, and I've talked with Faith Beam some about it, and she said that if we get our own boxes for SGA, we could paint them ourselves if we wanted to, and customize and put CUSGA on the side or whatever like that. And also the food that they grow, if we decide to do food instead of flowers or whatever, it goes back to the community to help people who are hungry and need the food. So it's a good thing to do.
All right. Is there a motion on the floor?
Motion to add numbers to the resolution.
Is there a second? All those opposed, please raise your hand. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All right. The motion passes. You have the numbers.
24.
24.
All right.
Motion to add resolution 024-14 to the agenda.
Second.
All those opposed, please raise your hand. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes.
Motion to exit committee authority.
Second. All those opposed, please raise your hand. All those in favor, please raise your hand. We now move into our new business. The first is this amendment. They constructively reinstate subsequent to meeting. Yeah, motion to reinstate House rules constructively are reinstated when you move out of committee. At this time, we'll visit Amendment 013. Mr. Hudson, would you like to comment on that?
Okay, so this is the same amendment that was presented at the last meeting and approved at the last meeting. The only difference is Student Life wanted a couple of clarifications put in. So what has been added, if you look at the second to last line under Section A, in parentheses, who have completed the rushing process, that has been added. If you look on the first line of the second page, who have completed the rushing process, that has been added. That's the only two additions to this part of the amendment. There are other additions on the second part, which I'll go over when that one brings up. But those are the only two changes that were made to this, and they just wanted to know what qualifies as a Greek and what doesn't. So as long as you've completed the rushing process, not one who is currently rushing. If you're completed the rushing process, that's what qualifies as a full Greek member, and that's who will be able to run the budget position. That's the only changes that have been made to this. Student Life Committee isn't support of this fully. They just asked for this to be included. They can't overrule SJ and add it to there without our approval. But the current amendment as it is sits on the Student Life table is still pending. So this is a change that they just have to make. Inquiries?
Yeah, I just want to know why, if you are Greek and you are male on campus, why you can't vote for like men's community coordinating?
That way you don't have dual representation, you're only represented by one person. Just like you don't need, or you don't, basically what it is, we're making men's, women's, and community coordinator non-Greek positions, and then Greeks will have their own sole representative, basically to advocate for the individual needs of the Greek community on campus. And that's what we're looking at here for this.
This question is more in relation to the Second Amendment, but I want to address it now because they're kind of together.
Well, I mean, the Second Amendment hasn't come up yet.
Mr. Hall.
So there is no substantive changes made from this amendment than the one that passed by an overwhelming 2/3 by Congress previously?
Correct. And this has already been pre-cleared by the Student Life Committee, this amendment as it sits now.
Quick follow-up, so this would be able to go straight to referendum, so it'd be able to be...
Point of information, it's not been voted on by the...
Yes, it hasn't been voted on.
It has to be voted on.
There were pre-cleared as the wording.
Any more queries?
A motion to approve amendment 00-13.
Second.
All those opposed, please raise your hand. All those in favor, please raise your hand.
Parliamentary inquiry, are you not going to ask for abstentions? just for procedural.
Are there any abstentions to the vote?
I thought we stated earlier in the year you cannot abstain if it does not affect you.
That's what I thought as well.
Inquiry, does not Robert's rules say that you cannot force someone to vote, and conflict of interest, you can force someone to not vote, that's a be a member of the body?
The parliamentarian has asked what the conflict of interest is.
And we also stated when we were in closed session that you could not remove someone's ability to abstention because it's not the body's decision to declare what is a conflict of interest. That's a personal decision from past precedents.
Well, go ahead. Would you please raise your hand once again if you have an abstention? You good? All right. The amendment passes. Right? It's 2-3. We'll now move on to amendment 00-14, the first one, Students Inclusion Act.
Okay, so this is the second part. This is basically the same thing that has been changed. Added in there who's completed the rushing process. And then as well, under duties, they asked for, under section C, add line 5, serve on the University Greek Life Committee. They want that position as what it's eventually going to be. There'll be the Inter-Greek Council, and then there'll be the faculty University Greek Life Committee that oversees the Greek Council. That'll be made up, probably Dr. Bazemore is the chair, and then faculty staff members sitting on it. This will be the student sitting on the committee. So the student sitting on the committee will be from SGA. They've yet to name anybody from the Inter-Greek Council who will be sitting on it. So as of right now, SGA will be the representation on the University's Greek Life Council, or University's Greek Life Committee, which oversees the handbook policies. Are there any questions, queries about this one?
Mr. Shad?
Would the speaker be in favor of similar positions created to be a dedicated elected campus-wide position for other segmented and divided groups of students?
Depending on a case-by-case basis.
Motion for round of debate.
Is there a second? Second. All those opposed to a round of debate, please raise your hand.
Okay, raise your hand high, please.
All those in favor of a round of debate, please raise your hand.
And just for clarification, this is the same amendment that was passed by Congress at the last meeting, with the exception of those two things that were added. The motion for round of debate fails.
Motion to approve amendment 00.14.
Second.
All those opposed to the approval of this amendment, please raise your hand. Keep it up high.
Please raise your hand high. I'm really sorry, that is hard.
All those for, please raise your hand. Okay. All right, the amendment passes. Now move on to amendment 00.14, the second one, an open process ensured as the deputy vice chair. Mr. Chad.
So this amendment, what would be, excuse me, what would be added is the first underlined section, which just means that technically we wouldn't be unconstitutional when we don't meet every 2 weeks during the summer and Christmas break. So that's more just a minor thing. Then the next part, which is the main point of it, is that meetings have to be on main campus property. Since we represent undergraduate main campus students, it should be on campus and be opened up to students for them to see what we're doing. But it allows, in case, things such as impeachment and things like that, we can still go into executive session to respect the right of privacy of members. That's outlined in Robert's rules. And so meetings would have to be in a single room or area, so you meet in here, or here if you meet in academic circle, or D-Rich in a room or something, just we're all in a room together. And then the rationale just kind of explains that, and then also quotes the national government equivalent of this, which passed in the 1970s, which also quotes the Federalist Papers.
Motion to amend the number to 00.15 to go with conflict.
Point of interest, point 14, from my understanding, is the year, so the numbers previous to it, which can be assigned by the rules chair. It's all good.
Would the speaker be friendly to an amendment that the adopted version 5 would reflect the amended version? Because the rules were about to change the 2 on both sides, so there's a conflict.
Yes.
Okay. Motion to make that amendment.
Speaker find it friendly? Oh, yeah. It would, yeah. All right, so all those opposed to amending the amendment, please raise your hand. All those in favor of amending the amendment, please raise your hand. All righty. Mr. Hudson, did you have a question?
Just a quick question. I know it says in accordance with Robert's Rules of Order. Is what's being included in the Constitution written in Robert's Rules of Order already?
Well, the open to constituents isn't, because obviously Robert's Rules doesn't deal with our constituents. The single room or area or under equivalent conditions, that's in Robert's Rules, but I wanted to make sure it's explicitly stated in the Constitution, so future SGAs don't have to go through a 500-page book for that minor detail.
And follow up, part about on main campus property, would that not effectively eliminate holding congressional meetings at SGA retreats as been done every year in the past since I've been at SGA, and since SGA has been holding retreats, they've held a business session at the retreat?
Yes, it would.
Okay.
position.
Would the speaker not agree that that is a problem for us to not have a formal meeting on retreat?
I see it as a bad thing to have a formal meeting approving resolutions and budgets, whatever, totally removed from students. I mean, we can still have mock congressional meetings like we did at this previous retreat. But
You essentially practice. Do something great. Is the speaker aware that this year we did not have a formal meeting off campus for the purpose of allowing students to be at our meeting where we normally pass the budget?
I am aware.
Any other queries?
Okay.
No? Yes?
Motion to move into a round of debate.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those opposed to moving into a round of debate, please raise your hand. Keep it up high.
Is this for or opposed?
Opposed. This is, are you talking about approving it? Or right now we're motioning to move into a round of debate?
Yeah.
Yeah, first one is for, all those for moving into a round of debate, please raise your hand. Keep it up high. I will not
Keep
be moving
hands
into
up.
a motion. We will not be moving into a round of debate.
I have a general query for anybody that can answer this. At the retreats, is it pertinent that business be conducted? Is it a vital session that we hold at the retreats?
I guess I can speak to that. And my memory does not serve me well because I know we did a mock meeting, and I think we may have done a second meeting the following day, but only as a comply with the 2-week thing. We did not introduce any new resolutions. We actually postponed voting on the budget until we had an emergency meeting. Was it the Tuesday or the Thursday we came back?
Yeah.
And the goal with that was, and it had never occurred to me until I had to organize the retreat, that there's no opportunity for any constituent to come in and voice an opinion on stuff that we're voting on. Most of the times, the resolutions are made the Friday night when the class gets together, and then they're voted on the next day. In all my 4 years here, 3 years previous, that's what happened. Is they came up with resolutions that were great, and then voted on them the next day. And my goal this year was to have the resolutions out there in the public to be seen by all the students before we actually vote on them.
So this would not hinder any vital process?
No, other than the passing of the budget, but with the proper planning, the budget can be passed immediately following the retreat coming back.
In previous years, we've had it to where the freshmen actually learn the process of everything and holding actual meetings. Last year, or this year, we didn't hold a formal meeting, but last year when I was president, we held a formal meeting. The year before that, when Jeremy Winters was president, and the year before, when Hank Raker was president, we held formal meetings and conducted all business as normal.
Parliamentary inquiry. So if this is passed, that means that students who get club funds would be delayed a week, correct?
Point of information, as for what Peter said, and the reason we jointly decided not to have an official meeting off campus was so that students could be present when we speak about the budget, so they could utilize student forum, have a copy of the budget in their hand, and come here to voice any concerns. As for what Mr. Hall is talking about, or as for what Mr. Hudson's talking about, this year, instead of having an official meeting, we had a mock meeting, where it was easier in a mock meeting to stop the meeting and tell people the correct procedures to do things. As for what Mr. Hall said, what would you say again?
I just asked, so that means clubs would receive funds a week later
Point of
versus.
information, that is correct. However, Ms. Barnes and I have been pitching an idea back and forth about starting an escrow account for SGA's money so that the entire fund goes into an escrow account, allocated there, and then we pass how much we want for IOC. It goes the next day into their bank accounts. The remainder reverts to our bank account. So we would get our money a week later instead of clubs. That's in the process, but currently you are correct. Another, just.
Do you think it's possible for that to happen for the end of the semester? Because my concern is clubs not getting their money because we can't have a formal meeting, and that's the problem.
Sorry, I would agree that it is a possibility that we could conduct this, we could achieve this, but we don't know for sure that it's a viable option. We're still talking about that. We've been planning on going to talk to accounting. We have not done that yet. And also, I would like to point out that clubs getting their money is important. However, it's equally important that clubs members are able to be here and present when we pass the budget to contribute money to them, so they can voice any concerns about a lack or a surplus of funds going to respective clubs. Point of information.
Is the chair aware that a meeting could theoretically be held the entire week before the retreat and could still comply with this being on campus?
The chair is aware of that. I'm not sure, I haven't looked at the calendar, I'm not sure whether that would prevent the freshman class from being involved in the passing of the budget since they hadn't been sworn in yet, which would mean we would prevent an entire class from being represented and allocating the funds that they had paid to the pot. So I'm not sure whether or not that would be a viable option. I'm not aware of the calendar for next year.
Clarification, the budget, as far as I can recollect, has never been approved at the retreat. It's always been approved after we get back to the retreat. And for the part of the freshmen, the retreat is held the weekend following their election. So they get elected on a Tuesday. The retreat is that Friday and Saturday and Sunday. So that's the first time they'll see anything. The only time I've ever seen a budget presented at a retreat is a preliminary budget where we're finalizing it. The point of what we do at the retreat is we're passing just resolutions, not budgetary matters.
Is there any other points of information or queries?
Motion to table this amendment until next congressional meeting so we can verify about all budgetary issues.
Second. All those opposed to tabling the amendment until the next congressional meeting, which will be held next Thursday, raise your hand, please.
And keep it raised.
All those in favor of tabling?
I don't know if this is on chilling or voting.
Sorry, I apologize. The amendment is tabled. We will now move on. Resolution 14-14.
This resolution is essentially the same text as the previous resolutions for reprimands. Again, what changes is just the names and the title.
Motion to approve resolution. There's a query on the floor. Not at all.
I just had one query. Do you think it's proper that no representatives are making reprimands, or do you feel that should be deferred to either the rules chair or the vice president who does scrutiny over office hours?
I am of the opinion that anyone can do reprimands, and if it's only left up to the rules committee or executive vice president, then essentially they're exempt from any overview and oversight.
Quick follow-up. So anyone has access to all the office hour information of everyone, correct? Okay.
Is there a motion on the floor?
Motion to approve resolution 14-14.
All those opposed, please raise your hand.
Parliamentary, can we approve multiple motions at one time if there is approved?
This is for approval. This is those against. Please raise your hand up high if you're against. If you're voting against. All those for passing the resolution, please raise your hand. Aye. All right, the resolution passes. We'll now move on. Resolution 16-14. Just 15-14.
Again, essentially the same, just the following week and subsequent things.
Motion to approve resolution 05-14.
All those opposed, please raise your hand. Keep it raised high. All those for, please raise your hand. Resolution passes. We now move on to resolution 16-14.
Again, essentially the same text, just the following week. subsequent things.
Motion to approve resolution 016-14.
Point of information, is the speaker aware that Secretary Treasurer Torrero was approved for an office hour doing another activity?
At the time of writing this note, but since then, yes.
All right. Is there a motion on the floor?
Motion to strike.
Motion to amend to strike Secretary Treasurer Torrero's name from.
All those opposed, please raise your hand. Second. All those opposed, please raise your hand. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Just so you know, is everyone aware of the motion?
Yes.
The motion is to amend the resolution to strike someone who was approved for an office hour from getting elected. All right, we'll start back over. All those opposed to amending the resolution to remove someone's name, please raise your hand. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Those in favor of removing someone who did an office hour, please raise your hand.
That's aggressive.
Motion to approve resolution 016-14 as amended.
All those opposed, please raise your hand. Good job, people. Here. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Keep it high. Resolution passes. We will now move on to Resolution 17-14. Ms. Blair?
Good evening, Congress. This is the second resolution that I co-sponsored. As I said earlier, this is basically a list of recommendations that I heard from commuting students that would help make their lives easier, and I intend to take this recommendation to Dr. Bazemore. So, are there any approvers? You'll know.
Is there a motion?
Motion to approve resolution 017-14.
Second.
All those opposed, please raise your hand. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All right, resolution passes.
Do that while I'm on the floor.
Resolution 18-14, ample appreciation. Mr.
I've done one of the recommendations yesterday.
You look more professional.
Anyway, so senior class did the research, and so me and some other people on senior class made nice little orange thank you cards. I also say sponsored by SGA, so people know that appreciation is sponsored by SGA, so good PR never hurts. And then also, as in, we talked about how Earth Day is on Tuesday, and so we have some plastic pots, some pretty flowers, and some soil that we'll be handing out, and we're trying to get approximately like 100 people, so we'll probably be doing the setup, tabling for this during the day when people are actually active on campus. And then also, we talked about how desserts make people happy lots of times, so why not watch a great movie while eating them? So that goes with that cost, and then so the total allocation for the Campbell Appreciation Week for all those events will be approximately $500. Yields, queries. Let's see.
The speaker's house friendly to amend the resolution on line 8 and is changed to R.
Which one,
Line 9, excuse me.
Yes. I find it friendly. I mean, you find it friendly, Randy? Yeah. Because I do not author legislation.
Has this idea of this week of events been brought up to council?
Yes, it has been coordinated with student activities.
Any further queries?
You approve it.
Motion to approve resolution 018-14. As amended.
All those opposed, please raise your hand. Let's pay attention, guys, let me know what we're voting on. All those opposed, please raise your hand. Good. All those in favor, please raise your hand.
Is that a fact?
Resolution passed.
It's a good fact.
Move on to resolution 19-14.
Sarah couldn't be here tonight, so I'm going to present this really quick. Basically, what the resolution is for is to purchase supplies for the pancakes for the Relay for Life table, since we are doing National Pancake Day as our holiday. Like I said before, our fundraiser will be selling bottomless pancakes and bottled water to raise money for the cause.
The point of information. Unfortunately, President Newby will be out of town. But can lend my Commander-in-Chief paper to Madam Secretary President-elect if she would like to take it.
Any further queries?
2019-14.
Second.
All those opposed, please raise your hand. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Any abstentions, please raise your hand. Resolution passes. And I'll move on to 20-14.
All right, guys, so the Professor of the Year voting ended yesterday. Still not see you one. No, stay. So this amendment, or resolution, is basically to purchase the plaque and the $500 donation to the library of books that the professor chooses. I believe, and I've talked with other people in the past, the plaques come around to about $75 after taxes. And so, yeah, that's it.
Yes, please.
Please send it to add the numbers.
Yes, you can. I find that thing.
Any further queries?
Right.
Have you told SoPAC yet?
I have not.
Any further queries?
Motion to approve resolution 020-14. As amended.
All those opposed, please raise your hand. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Any abstentions, please raise your hand. Resolution passes. We now move on to resolution 21-14, Mr. Hudson.
Okay, so this one is the one for the senior class gift that we've been talking about for about a year now, going on since August. What we are doing is signs for the Convocation Center and for the football stadium, naming the student section. That's what the internal finance committee resolution was for the survey to go out. As Andrew said, we've had close to 170 responses from the senior class, which I think is great. I didn't think it'd be a third of that, so that's been really good. We've already spoken to Dr. Bazemore about this. He's in contact with Jim Roberts, the VP for Business Relations. They're working on getting the signs to match the ones that are currently at both the Convocation Center and at the football stadium. What we're doing is $2,500. That's the entire senior class budget. This is not just a transfer from SGA to the purchase of the signs. What the alumni office does every year, whatever the senior class gives, in conjunction from SGA and from the school itself is matching, is credited to each graduating senior as a gift back to the university. So you're included on the roll as a donor from the university. Depending year after year what the gift is. Certain gifts cannot be included for this. This one can't be included for it. So this will be considered back as a gift to the university. So each graduating senior is going to get credit for giving back to the university as a donation. Dr. Bazemore said he'll help match us some funds as well. If there's money left within the semester, we're also looking at possibly whatever money's left in the semester, like last year, going toward the senior class gift as well. Just in general, previous senior class gifts have been the benches in front of D Ridge, the flagpoles that were taken down that we did not know why they were taken down, the big desk at the Convocation Center that they pass out the T-shirts and programs on for basketball games, as well as other little random things. The picnic tables out at Sailor Park, the shelter out at the intramural fields are all class gifts. So you see them spotted here and there around campus. Any queries?
Has anyone thought about having a sign for the baseball stadium as well, or is that?
We have not. We just did the two. We did the two big ones for the moment. That could be something to do later if we got the
Any further queries?
Would the speaker find it friendly that Mr. Roberts and Dr. Bazemore deem that they have enough allocation to do that, that you'll recommend it?
Yes.
Any further queries?
Motion to approve resolution 021-14.
Second.
All those opposed, please raise your hand. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those abstaining, please raise your hand. All right. Resolution 22-14, Ms. Laird.
This is a resolution that Caleb and I both wrote, but it's about recycling. It's something I'm really passionate about, getting campus to be more green. And so this is basically just a recommendation. And it includes the numbers from the poll that the Campbell Times gave and including the questions of the survey that we gave to students. So I think it's really important, and it's something that I think is going to be really good for Campbell. So is there any questions? Go ahead.
So the plan is to pass this, then take it to Dr. Bazemore, see what he thinks can be done, and possibly talk to a couple other environmental friendly members of the administration, and work with both faculty and people within the administration to bring more recycling options to Campbell. I mean, right now, there are very few recycling options in this building. And if we look around campus, there's only a couple around the Oasis or major printing sections. There's not one. Our goal is to get recycling bins next to every trash bin on this campus so that Campbell can be environmentally friendly and we can appeal to people that are environmentally conscious that are coming into the university looking at Campbell as a viable option for college. Any queries?
Either of you also voted kind of campaigns, but not really campaigns to increase awareness about recycling?
No, but that is a great idea.
Well, we did coordinate with the Campbell Times to run a poll about recycling. We did include it in our own survey, so this is kind of the initial step, but we're definitely going to consider recycling campaigns in the future.
With the speakers planet friendly, and I guess the Campbell Appreciation Week people planet friendly, to kind of combine the campaigning idea with their Earth Day event.
Sure.
Mr. Hall?
Does the speaker think it would be a good idea to maybe, after hopefully this resolution gets passed, but to submit it to the Campbell Times with an article why this is important, and then they can put it in the Campbell Times, so that way administration can be reminded of the student voices?
I'll ask the editor-in-chief if she would consider that.
Any further queries?
Motion to approve resolution.
Support.
22.
Second.
All those opposed, please raise your hand. Sorry, that's second. All those opposed, please raise your hand. All those in favor, you're opposed? All those opposed, please raise your hand. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All right. All those abstaining. All right, resolution passes. Resolution 23/14.
So this is the main block party resolution. It's the big one that kind of talks about what we're spending our money on. We're getting Pelicans. We are going to get inflatables and bouncy houses this year through SMS Entertainment, and I think that's really the main things that we're spending our money on. Yes.
Are you guys still partnering with First Year Experience, and are they providing t-shirts?
Yes, they are paying for that.
What are you getting other than
Like food? Yeah. Oh, we're going to do the same thing. I forgot. Yeah, that's included in the food price.
Any further queries?
Motion to approve resolution 023-14.
Second.
All those opposed, please raise your hand. raise your hand. All those abstaining, please raise your hand. Resolution passes. Moving on. We will now be visiting resolution 24-14. It should be the first one in your packet.
Everybody knows what it's about.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve 24-14.
Second.
All those. All those opposed, please raise your hand.
I'm sorry, I can't keep up. Well, I'm still typing.
All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those abstaining, please raise your hand. Mr. Hudson. Resolution passes. We'll now move into student forum. Are there any students wishing to speak at this time? Come on down.
I know y'all tired of me coming up here, but I forgot to mention that Common Ground is looking into doing a safe zone training on campus. Safe zone is, the very basic idea is to set up a network of support for LGBT students on campus. So we're looking to maybe do this sometime in the fall semester. If y'all are interested or have any questions about that, don't feel free to contact me, or if you got any questions right now. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. Any other students wishing to speak at this time? All right, seeing none, we'll move into congressional forum. Ms. Tarr, please keep your hand raised and let's speak to congressional forum.
Okay, well, I actually have a couple things. The big thing that I was made aware of this week is and I'm sure most of you have if you live on campus, you should be hearing about applying for housing next year. And the process is different this year. It has nothing to do with your credit hours, so it's not really by that anymore. It's now based on the dorm or the on-campus apartment that you're in. And so they're doing this to enforce the freshman class coming in has to be on campus for 6 semesters compared to 4. And I've been told that they are doing that to enforce that. And I spoke with Dr. Bazemore, and I've also emailed the director of residence life, but I have not received a straightforward answer about it. No one can really explain to me why and why this seems to be mutually exclusive, why they can't keep track of how long you're supposed to live on campus, but still allowing you to register based on your credit hours. I know in most of the other schools in North Carolina, including Duke, UNC, Gardner-Webb, and High Point, all house students based on their credit hours. And I've been told that housing policies have been flawed in the years past, but personally I think something needs to be done to fix it. We pay a lot of money to have to live here. And especially now with the freshman class, we're being forced to live here another year. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I think that something needs to be done. And I've been actually told 4 different things regarding the new housing process in the past few days. It seems like no one really knows exactly what's going on, and they're all kind of just making it up as they go along. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's kind of frustrating when you try to get a straight answer and can't. And basically, in my opinion, it's like they're trying to make students live on campus for more time, but they're not going to fairly allow them to choose where they want to live. And I would appreciate any knowledge on the topic or any help to get this changed and maybe made a little bit more clear. And also, I've also asked quite a few of you about why we don't have a credit card for SGA or some kind of like bank card. I've been told that CAP has one and it's not been very successful, but I would like to look into that if at all possible. I know with working on purchasing the banners, and especially with other class and advancement resolutions, it's been very difficult to quickly get the funds that we need, especially with advancement for the events that we have to do. And I feel like there has to be an easier way to do this and get these ideas in motion quicker, because I just feel like it's a lot of run around before we can get what we need to get.
Point of information, CAB, I'm the CAB treasurer. CAB does not have a credit card. We have the same process SGA does.
Yeah.
The only person in student activities who has a credit card is Chris O'Connor, the director.
Well, thanks for clearing that
And
up, because I've been told CAB had one. So.
No, we don't have one. We do the same process as SGA, and I've been SGA treasurer, so it's the same crap you got to do in them both.
Yeah.
Chris has the only credit card for student activities, and he doesn't have a high balance on the credit card limit. He has to deal with CAP, SGA, student activities, Greek life, and all the clubs at once on that one credit card. So.
I was working in this student center, as they call it. I work with residents like a lot about that type of stuff, so I'd be willing to help you in any way you want.
Yeah, I think that's all I have.
One more for you.
Are the dorms kind of split up by class levels though?
They are, and it's the process that I've been told is if you're in an on-campus apartment, you go 1 week, and then if you're in an upperclassman dorm, you go 1 week. If you're in a freshman dorm, you go 1 week, and then after. But I know, like personally, and I know this varies for every person, but my roommate is going to be considered a rising junior, and she can't vote for the class that she identifies with in SGA. She can't run for the class she identifies with in SGA. She can't really do much with her class, and this was the one perk that she was going to get to use to her advantage, and now she can't. She has no advantage now. And I mean, personally, I have more hours than I'm supposed to, and it's just kind of frustrating when they're going to make you live on campus for more. And he said that that was supposed to stop. Like for example, my roommate would only have to live on campus for 2 years instead of 3 because she's credit hour wise, but it doesn't really make sense in my head personally. It doesn't make sense why they can't track how many years you've been on campus without still allowing students to register based on credit hours. And I also know, like for example, say you're a sophomore in an apartment, you're going to be a rising senior, and you're in a dorm. That sophomore is going to get to register ahead of you just because of where you're at. It just doesn't seem very fair to me.
So, is it like, I don't know, I lived in Jones last year, and that's technically considered a dorm, so is it like people in Barker and Stadium and the apartment-style housing get to register first?
Yes.
Even though those people that are in Jones are the same age as some of those people in those and older. And also, I think this goes along with the issue of, I know it's not an issue anymore, but last year where they had the dorm housing rules, the people in Jones had to follow different rules than the people that were in Barker and Stadium, and I didn't think that was fair either. And I think there's a lot of where they still didn't. I don't believe in this, so I was told differently, but I think that's kind of silly too. That if you're the same age, it's just you live in a different place on campus, that doesn't really make sense to me.
Any further queries? Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Johnson?
Okay, so the round of debate for the Greek Life Amendment got shut down, so you're going to hear from me now. I just didn't feel that the student body was, or the student government was ready for this position. I understand that a lot of you are members of Greek societies. I don't mean that as a personal attack. I'm pro-Greek life, don't misunderstand me. If I would have been here longer, I would have thought it a worthwhile investment and joined one myself. I just didn't think that it was necessary for this time, so that's all.
Alrighty. Ms. Laird?
I just want to say something about like debates also, but if I guess this is just me, but I feel if one person in here has something to debate about, then we should debate it. If someone has something to say about it, it's worth discussing because it's probably something that they care about. So that's my opinion on that. You guys may have something different. Also, I know it was a long meeting, so if you're on elections, don't forget to see me after we the meeting is scheduled.
All right. Mr. Elwell?
I won't be long because I want to watch Grey's Anatomy. The one thing I do want to say, guys, in all of your oaths that you've made about SGA, you all have said that you are going to serve. And service is being in this room, but it's also going out, showing up and helping Peter Newby in his leadership campaign thing, going on Earth Day to the community garden, hopefully enjoying ice cream and making sure homeless children have something to eat. That's always a big thing. I like feeding homeless people, and I hope you do too. So I feel like we need to be a little bit more active in our service. Just think about that. We also serve a community that is outside of this room. So please show up to these big events that we're having. Please come. Because if you guys aren't coming, then why in the world would students want to come? You know? I don't want to yield to any inquiries, so I'll talk to you later.
Mr. Hall?
I just wanted to say, like, a point of interest, like, if anyone want to work with me, I think in the election bylaws, like, we need to clarify, like, what we do with provisional ballots and, like, the situation, like, 3-2 students, for instance, they sometimes get lost in the gap. Like, for instance, I know Danielle Barnes wasn't even officially able to vote on normal ways, even though she's already been elected to be executive treasurer. So I feel like that's something either we can, like, look with the registrar's office. So I don't really know the official channel, whether we just need to modify the bylaws or if we need to figure out how we can adjust this with the registrar's office, but I'd be open to anyone working with me for that.
I guess this is more of a point of information. I met with Dr. Bazemore today, so he had some ideas. So I can either schedule a meeting that everyone can come and we can discuss, or I can just talk to Dr.
I will also say that my roommate is in National Health, Dr. Baseball, because of the whole 3-2 thing. And a lot of students are working the table. I didn't work that long, but a little bit. We're really upset about it. So I really think we do need to try to figure out a solution. Don't know what the solution is, but a lot of students were upset by it.
And the early college students and people like that. I just want to make sure people aren't disenfranchised. That's it.
Mr. Jones?
I did not bring up the resolution for the smoking thing because we're working with the committee, with the administration, so that's going forward. So make sure you fill out the Healthy Camels survey about smoking on campus.
I just wanted to piggyback off what Representative Tart said. When I came to Campbell, I had the credits to be a sophomore, but they wouldn't let me move into a dorm because I was a freshman in residency. So in class, I'm a sophomore, but in my room, I'm a freshman. That really makes no sense to me. A lot of schools don't feel like that, and I want to encourage, obviously I can't really throw my name on anything, but let's get a task force think tank ad hoc. Maybe too late now, but next year's administration, I know President Leckforth probably like to do it. Let SGA, since we're elected, like, let's look at class registration. I couldn't register on the weekend because one computer apparently went down. And that, put everything back. I had to miss a class just because my advisor, just like a register. Let's look at the current processes and offices here at Campbell and us come up with a solution and present it to the administration. We'll do the work for them so they've had really no opportunity to help us in that. So I'd love to help with any of that. I think all that needs to be fixed.
Mr. Ross?
Well, really, I don't think I need to go there because this is a little short thing. You mentioned being on the phone, and I am absolutely horrible, right? I've been on my phone. Yesterday was March 26th, and one of the girls that I graduated with, hey, Stella, decided life wasn't worth living anymore. So due to the situation, they decided to make it a private funeral. So I've been actually arranging things with my fellow classmates from the class of 2012 to do like a private memorial for us among the class for kind of closure issues. So that's what I've been doing on my phone, and I know I look horrible to y'all and the students, and I look disrespectful to y'all here, but I promise I've been keeping up, and I mean no disrespect, but I have been in violation of the phone use tonight, and that's, you know, something y'all can deal with. I'm sorry if it offends you. So that's what I want to get out, because I know y'all probably seen me. I haven't been hiding that too well.
It's usually my fault too, and I don't have a reason like that.
I just wanted to get that out there.
Thank you very much. All right, Mr. Hudson?
Just a quick update, I won't get up. In case anybody hasn't found this out or not, Tuesday graduation was officially switched from back outside to the Convocation Center, how it has been originally. So graduation will be all main campus undergraduates, whether or not it's business school, College of Arts and Sciences, or ed school. We're all going to be graduating together. We all have 8 tickets. It will be in the Convocation Center. So they did listen to us. We did a great job at it. Then undergraduate extended campuses will be graduating at 2 o'clock as they had it planned originally. All main campus and all extended campus undergraduate have been combined into one big outside graduation. So graduation has been switched back to how it originally has been by the university cabinet, and an email has been sent out to all seniors of the change. So.
Sir, any more members of Congress wish to speak? Mr. Shad?
As I'm sure most of you are aware, I voted, most of the time, the only one who voted no to stuff. And the reason is that I don't think SGA should just be planning events and parties and things for students. Kind of see that the role is capped. And as parliamentary Walton mentioned, you cannot do so much more than just parties and events. For example, it's graduation. And then also, this body incredibly confuses me sometimes because an amendment is made to create a position for 6% of students. And we're to be the voice of the undergraduate student body at main campus of Campbell University. So we're supposed to represent the students and not go off what they want, not off of what administration wants. And then we approved that amendment, and then an amendment for requiring us to be open to those students is tabled because there's confusion about a meeting. Meanwhile, freshmen are elected, say, Monday. We could have a meeting now, theoretically, on a Friday or Saturday on a retreat, but we could also have it on a Thursday on campus, like we do every other week. So the election is not really influencing whether or not we're required to be open to the students that we represent. We encourage everyone to think of students and who each of us represent. I'm not just a member of SGA, I'm a representative of the junior class. So I need to think of the junior class, what they would want, and respect their voices and their rights of equality and right of regulating internal government and right of assembling peacefully and right to voting in student elections and protection from ex post facto rules, protection from seizure of property, right of equal protection of laws, and rights that when they're accused of something. That's something we should have forefront of our minds.
Have you spoken with any students that were opposed to the Greek life position specifically? How many?
Just this morning, 3.
Couldn't you make the argument that the fact that we're videotaping our sessions, the fact that they are being made public through the internet, that is an effort of us already being made to make it open to students and not hide anything from it? Keep could also, instead of trying to say, make it all on one location, like with the issue of having one viewing their tree, couldn't you do it with like a rock game or something in 2014? We'd have a little bit more opportunity to say, we're looking into this one. We could put it more through social media and stuff like that. They could wait in that way, which will be easier for the students than having to come down and sit here like these people had to do referendums. They're coming up here with the injury. Wouldn't it have been easier if we could have done this online and seen what we were doing and voice his opinion that way if he didn't have an opinion to voice versus having to come out on crutches, because I can promise you that's not an easy feat. You know, the parking lot's not that close. So if we want to do things in the interest, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to embarrass you college now, but if we're going to say we're here for the interest of the students, wouldn't it make more sense to make it more universally accessible versus just saying, come to this room at this time and you get, oh, well?
I think the video camera is a great thing that President Rubio has started, but that's not something that we're required to do. That's something that he did on his own initiative. I'd love to see future SGAs continue that trend, but also I don't think we necessarily have the capability right this second to have a live streaming of our meetings to Campbell TV stations. Meanwhile, we can crash harness. Meanwhile, we can at this moment have this resolution, have this amendment, which means that we have to be somewhere on campus, whether it be in here, whether it be in the middle of that circle, or in Pivot, or somewhere else, and be open to students.
Then by your last book, and then more sense instead of being here and you want to go comfortable, squeaky chairs that we first wait all night, to actually set up in academic sites and be out in the open, and not maybe on a Thursday night, but like at lunch when everybody's walking around. And we can yell and holler and put on a good show, we'll sell popcorn, I might even make money. But let me tell you, some of these congressionals, we can get a little bit heated. So, wouldn't you say that we should make the argument to do that then in full openness?
I would love to see SJ meetings held in front of the rich.
They have to get one of the rooms buried.
Well, we're going to do something that you hear from SGAs.
Are there any further queries?
Future SGAs.
I forgot to mention earlier in my report that just remember that the general fund does start after tonight. Also, I sent out an email last Friday, I think, that had the budget in it. It doesn't include all expenditures made this week, obviously, but I will have them tonight. I'll put them in the budget. I'll have it next week in the agenda, but if you want it sooner, just email me and I can get it to you.
All right, any other members of Congress wishing to speak?
Motion to congressional.
Motion to let Susan speak?
I'm just really
Is there a second?
No.
No.
Yes.
Thanks, guys. I'm just going to say I'm really proud of how this meeting went. I think we were really successful, and even though some things have passed and people aren't happy, it can get heated, it can get nasty, and I'm really proud of that, and please come to the leadership summit.
I'm going to speak real quick. Echoing what she said, it was awesome. We didn't have any heated debates, so I guess it was good that Campbell Towns weren't here tonight. But everyone was cordial with everyone, which I love to see. But we really had a problem. Mr. Jones just said it just himself. We had a problem with people bantering between themselves and gossiping and talking and kind of forming groups while we're in Congress. A lot of people didn't know what we were voting on. Seconding things when we were in the middle of a no vote. You need to make sure you're paying attention when you're voting, because that's the express purpose of you doing your job. You're representing the students through that vote. That's pretty important. So you need to know what we're voting on. I appreciate Mr. Atlas stating that he used his phone. I saw a bunch of people using your phone. I told you in the beginning of the meeting that you guys agreed not to use your phone, and your participation in this meeting is important. Students, I'm sure, can see you using your phone. And it's, even though it may be for a good reason, you need to pay attention. Mr. Hall is the only one who should have been using his phone. He was acting instead of the advancement chair. So next meeting, if I have to, if you guys aren't going to do what you said, I'm going to have to delegate someone the authority to sit in the back row and point out who's using their phone and be asked to leave the meeting, because it's hard for us to stay focused when we're not paying attention. And I'm sorry for not speaking clearly at points. I'll work on that. And also, the think tank is happening as soon as we adjourn. Mr. Scott's here to help us with that. I really appreciate you staying. You're already here for the convening. I promise it will be a quick meeting. I have to say.
Second.
We will now move into closing remarks. Mr. Newby.
First off, congratulations. Tonight was really, really productive. From my notes, takes up a ton of notes of the things that were passed and that I will be presenting to the administration. With that being said, we had close to, no, gosh, I can't count the but we had a lot of resolutions passed. I tried to pass around stuff to get signed, but be on your lookout on your emails. I'm going to try and set up a system for y'all to come to the office and sign. Let's see. Our three sort of mottos on our crest are service, growth, and achievement. I think we accomplished all of those tonight, as seen by achievement with the vast number of resolutions and amendments that went by. Growth, I think we grew closer as a body. There was a lot of congressional discussion, and that's from the beginning what I saw congressional forums being as actual forums of people talking back and forth in a civil manner on all the issues. So we grew together that way. We grew by adding a group position, so that's actual physical growth. And then service. We had a lot of great service amendments and resolutions tonight to really be a great shining example to the students. And this is what the student government is concerned about. Okay? We're concerned with the community, with our students, and providing opportunities for people to serve and better the community. And I was disappointed with the I guess the blockage of the debate. If someone has a counter opinion, it's not a bad thing to hear it. And I'm not saying that was the reason the debate was why. Everyone has their own reasons for doing it. But I would encourage you to just be open. Hearing someone's view doesn't necessarily, it doesn't hurt anybody to just hear theirs. Yes, it may cost you about 5 minutes of your time, because that's how much the day is limited to. But so I just encourage you to think about that. I am excited to see y'all all in 7 days next week. I look forward to seeing y'all then. Have a great night.
Motion to adjourn.
Please raise your hand.